Do you find yourself running out of counter space in the bathroom or in the kitchen? Today we're going to be looking at something called the socket shelf made by Sharper Image. It's an as seen on TV product that says it will solve your countertop problems. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You, and my channel is dedicated to reviewing mostly as seen on TV items. I do some consumer gadgets, other household items. Once in a while I throw in a little DIY stuff just because I like it. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to my channel by clicking the button below and then clicking the bell next to it so you're notified every single time I release a video just like this one. Now, let's see what the socket shelf has in store. So I purchased this socket shelf at Walmart for just around 30 bucks. Now to me that's awfully high for an as seen on TV product because I like the $19.99 price point. I did notice that there was this style and then there was another style box. I think they were exactly the same. I'll link what the other box looks like. I just picked this one because it was already put together and I liked that. I will say the packaging looks like it's difficult to get into, so I'm going to use some scissors to try to cut into here and see if that helps. If not, I'll just cut off camera and tear it open, and then we'll go from there. Actually, it looks kind of difficult, so I'm just going to tear it open off camera. That took a lot of effort for me to get into. I really just had to tear it apart and shred the packaging. So this is what it looks like out of the packaging. This one, like I said, came with a shelf already on it, but it's real simple. Just slide it off, and then you could put it the other direction if your plug happens to be upside down. And then I think this thing just slides right back on when you're ready to put it there. See, that was pretty simple. It has 6 outlets, so 2 on the front, 2 on the side, 2 on the other side, plus it has 2 additional USB charging ports. So you're able to charge all your devices, plug in your razor if you use it in the bathroom or your hair dryer or whatnot, and then you can store things on the top of the shelf. And that's what I'm going to check this into. I do see this long screw that comes out. I think you're supposed to take off your faceplate and screw this in, maybe to get some stability. But it also says that it works with all sorts of plugs, including GFI light plugs. So the question I have for that one is, some of those plugs, those GFCI plugs, they have the screws on the top and the bottom and not the middle. So I want to know, will this actually work for that or what? So let's test it out in the bathroom. I don't really have any place in my kitchen that I could do this because my plugs are all underneath the counters and they're kind of high, and so this shelf would be virtually not usable as at all. So let's go check this out in the bathroom first on a GFCI plug, and then I'll do it on a regular plug where I can screw it in just to see if it's something I would use. Okay, so here I have my GFCI outlet in the bathroom, and this is just supposed to plug in to one of the outlets here, and then now it's taking the power and pushing it everywhere else. So I took the screw out of the middle because there's no way I could have screwed that in, but I really just want to test this out to see, 1, does it work? 2, is this something I would use? So I can plug this in. Yep, I get power to things. It seems pretty stable. I'm pretty impressed with that. I thought it would be, I don't know what I actually thought it would be, but it's actually pretty stable. Let's see, I've seen people put candles on there. I've seen people put all sorts of things. So there I have it first. A couple things I want to point out, if you can see them here. There's a little light here that indicates that the unit is on. Let's bring it over here. Indicates that the unit is on. That's good and powered. I have the 2 USB here's on the side, and then I have on the front of me, and then I have the other plugs on the side. That to me is pretty usable because sometimes bathrooms, especially in older houses, do not have a lot of outlets in the bathroom. This would lend itself now to use that. So let me see if I can put a hairdryer on top. Yeah, that probably wouldn't work. So when you use this shelf, you're going to have to use things that are small enough to balance on the top and not fall off. But there's the first look. I want to take a look at a regular plug, not the GFCI now. So I'd like to know what you think about the socket shelf so far. Leave me a comment down in the comment section below. What do you think? Is this something that you would use? Before we move on to another plug style, I wanted to try putting a Nightlight on the side. On the box that I had purchased this, it actually had a picture of one of these plugged in. I just want to see if that would actually work. And there it is. I thought it was going to run into the wall here, but it doesn't. That's kind of cool and kind of handy to be able to have that little nightlight just on the side of this plug. So from just a little bit of time that I've been using the socket shelf, I've noticed that as I've been plugging it in and unplugging it and plugging it in, it seems to be getting looser and looser. So I'm definitely going to have to put it into the plug where I screw it in, because I feel as though it'll shift and I just wanted you to know that before we continue on. All right, so here's the other bathroom, and this plug is connected to a GFCI, but it's across the circuit. So this is when I would actually use the screw in, but let's look at it what it looks like this way and see how tight it is. This one has a little more play than the other one, and that's something that was concerned with me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a screwdriver, and I'm going to unscrew this, and then I'm going to actually drill this thing through it to see if I can get it tighter and a better secured hole. Now, I'm going to end up leaving the faceplate on and leaving it there and going through. So this is there as far as a little bit of protection, just so you know as I'm doing this. Here I have it screwed in, and I'm going to plug my phone in here just to charge. As you can see, I can just sit up here if I want and just leave it there. So that's kind of cool if I ever needed to charge here in the bathroom. What I like this shelf for is if you didn't have the space, you can actually use it for additional decoration and whatnot. If you wanted to put things on it, it's kind of a cool thing. It seems pretty sturdy to me. So that's something I think I would like for it. Plus the added receptacles would be really beneficial. I also think this would be great in an office. But we'll talk about more of that in my final review. So today we've been looking at the socket shelf, an as seen on TV product by Sharper Image that gives you a little bit of a counter space plus 4 additional plugs and 2 additional USB ports than a normal outlet would. There's a lot of cool things to this. One, I think that this shelf is actually pretty sturdy. I was impressed with the plastic, and I feel that as though you could put heavy things on here and it won't break. Additionally, this is pretty heavy duty plastic as well. It's not something that you would think of a normal as seen on TV product that's thin plastic and almost like made with a 3D printer, so thin or brittle. That being said, I still think the $30 price point for this is kind of high. This to me should be in the $19.99 price point because frankly I think they would sell more of these. I like the versatility, whereas if your plugs are upside down, where the ground port is upside down, you could turn this and still install the shelf. I think that's cool. Now, a major disadvantage for me though was this does not turn. Now I know that may sound weird, but there are some as seen on TV products that you plug in that this will actually turn or rotate so you can change the direction of this. And the reason I say that is, in my house, for some reason, when the electrician installed some of the outlets, some of my outlets are sideways, which I know is weird. I just never straightened them or turned them or had them turn, but that would have been nice to have this be able to turn and then I could plug it in straight and go on from there. That would be the only real downside, the price, and then I can't really change this plug around. I do think you could put some things with weight on here and it'll balance pretty nice. I'm gonna try to hook this back together. It goes on pretty easily, and you know what? There's a lot of uses. So I mentioned when I was finishing up in the bathroom that office spaces would be a good idea. In office spaces, you don't normally get a lot of plug space or shelf space. This would be nice to put in. You can put your phone there, you can put a picture there. A lot of good uses. Now, dare I say, putting it in your RV? I don't know. For me, RVs don't have a lot of counter space or don't have a lot of shelf space, and plugs are also limited. So this could be another good use for the socket shelf. This was Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. I hope you enjoyed this review. As always, have a great day.